Welcome back, everybody. This is our second episode. As always, Evan Witalison and myself put together 2 episodes of the Light Sports Ramble. Packer Chat is complete. Moving into Twitter talk. And again, Evan, I have to say, I am impressed with our followers and our listeners who are giving us wonderful topics to talk about every week. And tonight, you and I have narrowed it down. And we're going to start, well, we got 2 topics for sure that we're going to touch on. And one is, a listener had put out that there was a debate between him and another gentleman that Starks was a better running back right now in our offense than Eddie Lacy. And we'll talk about that. And then we're going to... Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. I laughed too. I actually put that on Twitter. I put a ha 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 in there. But you and I will talk about why that even possibly came up, because we can see both sides of some of that argument. And then we're going to talk about another follower of ours, and both of us know her, and that's Stacy on Twitter. She wanted to know about, is there a lack of good quarterbacks in the NFL, or has the game just changed? And I think that's a very good topic, especially as we see some injuries coming up. So I actually think we're going to start on that topic, Evan. And you and I briefly talked about it. And, you know, we had agreed that there's like 4 areas of quarterbacks in the NFL. We have our elite group. We have the Brees, the Rodgers, the Bradys. Then we have a group that are very good that could jump into that elite category. But then most of...
put Andrew Luck right at the heart of that category.
I couldn't disagree with you, the way the guy's playing. And then we have a group of average to below average quarterbacks that make up a majority of the league. And then we have a group of unknowns, like the Russell Wilsons, even the RG3s, and, you know, the Manuels that got drafted this year. So when we look at that, Evan, take me through your thoughts on this. Is it a lack of good quarterback play, or is the NFL changing?
Well, there's a few names I'm going to throw out there to kind of prove my point. You know, because I printed off a list of all the starting quarterbacks in the NFL as of coming into this week. And you have Buffalo starting Thad Lewis, who went undrafted in 2010 out of Duke. You have the Browns are now starting Josh Campbell after starting Brandon Whedon. And then you have the Buccaneers starting Mike Glennon, and you have the Tennessee Titans starting Jake Locker. I think those names right there pretty much show you where after you get out of the upper echelon of guys, I think that shows you where the quarterback position is in the NFL right now. 10 different teams, I'm throwing the Bears out of this because they have a bye week this week. They still have 1 starter so far. 10 different teams have used more than 1 quarterback this season. And once the Bears go next week without Cutler, it'll make it 11, and they're going to be the only team with a 500 record or better that started more than 1 quarterback. And, quarterbacks, they've started for multiple reasons due to injuries, but for a number of them, it's been by poor performances, and some of them are lucky they're still being able to continue to play. One of those guys being a Carson Palmer, who he should have hung up a long time ago. And, if you're Arizona relying on Carson Palmer to lead your franchise to the playoffs, you're in trouble.
I agree. I can't disagree with you. And, when you look at this, there is a lack of good quarterbacks in the NFL. And I think it's a combination of both that we're seeing now. The group of elite quarterbacks has shrunk. The group of good quarterbacks has shrunk. And we've got a ton of average to below average quarterbacks. And therefore, these coaches have to figure out what to do with a quarterback that's not very good. Thus, we're looking for game managers. And, the game manager is great. But if the game manager does not manage that game and they turn the ball over, you have no chance to win.
Yeah, but if you want to look at the ultimate game manager, if you want to see how to do it, go look at Kansas City. Look at Alex Smith.
Exactly.
He is the ultimate game manager. He just does his job, protects the football, doesn't turn it over, keeps the chains moving, doesn't put the defense in bad positions.
Well, I agree. And to be honest, I put Alex Smith as an average quarterback.
He is.
You know, my thing with him is that if the game, and until he proves me wrong, it's not a guy that I want to have the football in his hand if my team is down by 4 with 2.5 minutes to go.
I agree. Alex Smith's never going to win you a game, but he's not going to lose you a game either.
No, but if he makes those mistakes, that's when he's going to lose. You know, he's relying on
He doesn't make those mistakes, though.
Yeah. You know, but the thing is, he's relying on his defense, right?
Yeah.
You know, and he doesn't. I mean, his efficiency for interceptions to attempts is really low. I don't know the exact number. I haven't looked it up. But I think where it goes to what we're saying is that you look at these injuries that are starting to accumulate. For example, St. Louis had a good quarterback in Bradford, and now he goes down with an ACL. What are they left with? You know, don't even bring that name up. Come on, Evan.
He's the only guy in the free agent market, really, though. That's the thing. You see why they did what they did last week. If you want to remind our listeners what that is.
How in the world do you call up a 44-year-old man named Brett Favre? How do you do it? Why do you do it?
Other options, Tim Tebow.
I mean, yeah, okay. You know, both of them. I don't want to hear about either one of them anymore.
Makes two of us, but I just laugh about it because it's funny watching everyone's on both sides of the ones that don't want to hear it anymore and the ones that want to see it happen. It's just fun listening to their comments sometimes or hearing, reading their comments.
I'm going to give Brett Favre this credit. At least he said no this time.
Yeah.
At least he said no. The other thing with that, though, did you hear that Jeff Garcia wanted to try and come back?
I always love the unsolicited, players that basically are coming in unsolicited, saying, "I'll play" when you haven't played in quite a while.
Yeah,
Jeff Garcia was nothing special, anyways.
No, and I saw him on the NFL Network. The guy looked like he's 60 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, come on now, really?
He needs to lay off something. I don't know what, but he needs to lay off something.
I mean, it's crazy. So that goes to what we're saying is when you look at this, I think not only do we have a lack of good quarterbacks in the NFL, we have a system of terrible backups. I mean, even the Packers, we love Aaron Rodgers, and he will go and he will play. But what's to say if, knock on wood, something would happen and he has to miss a game? We got Seneca Wallace, and I think he can fit in the system, but by no means is he a great quarterback either.
Yeah, I think Seneca Wallace would be fine for a game or two if need be. Like, he'll be a good short-term answer because he knows what the Packers want out of the quarterback position, and he'll just play within himself. But a lot of the other teams around the league, that if their starters were to go down, like if Manning or Romo or Stafford were to go down, those teams are going to be in deep trouble. I'm not saying the Packers wouldn't be, but if it's just a short-term thing, like Rodgers had to miss a week or two, I think Packers would be okay.
Yeah, short-term, I agree with you 100%, but I'm not putting my Super Bowl hopes on Seneca Wallace.
No, I'm not saying that at all.
and so, that's where I'm going with this, and we move right into it. I mean, we've still got about 6 minutes to still get to Starks and Lacey, but we got to touch on it. You and I talked about it. The Bears losing Cutler. As much as people cut on that man, the Bears have no chance to win without him.
No, they don't.
And so, and he's into that probably on the bottom end of the good to average area for me. But the guy still goes in and plays. But now that he's hurt, you and I said, without looking at the schedule, it's going to be tough for them to win a game unless they're playing the Buccaneers or the Jaguars with McCown in there. And so, I don't think the game has changed. I think it's just a lack of good quarterback play out there, and the coaches have to do a game plan to fit within the skills of their quarterback. And if you've got
you got to do a better job of scouting quarterbacks coming out of college. They don't draft players like a Chad Henne in the second round, or
Brady Quinn.
You knew were going to be very good.
Yeah, Brady Quinn.
People in the first round.
Yeah, and a Colt McCoy and things of this nature. I agree with you. You know, the scouting has to be done, and I think we're seeing that. I mean, you and I both said Manuel we thought was a reach, you know, going in the first round, and we're seeing not a lot of quarterbacks going in the first round anymore. You know, and that may change in the future, but you know, quarterback play is becoming a problem where there's not a lot of great quarterbacks, even good quarterbacks, left in the league. So with that said, let's move on to the other topic that got thrown out there that you and I both kind of laughed at, that Starks is a better option at running back. What do you think about that?
You know, Starks is a good option. I will say that. You know, he knows the offense, and he does run the ball, you know, hard. But, you know, he doesn't block very well. He doesn't have very good hands out of the backfield, and he's very, very fragile. And up until recently, he didn't finish his runs off very well. Where Eddie Lacy, he runs hard, he runs low, he's hard to get down in the open field. He has good hands, he blocks well. You know, his spin moves deadly. And as Lacy becomes more and more comfortable in the offense, Lacy's going to become more and more dangerous. So hands down, Lacy's a better running back than James Starks. Starks is a good back, don't get me wrong, but Lacy is just, he's special.
I agree. And I can go, Stark says, yes, he's been in the offense. You know, and the other part of that was he finishes runs stronger. And I have to disagree. I think Lacy finishes runs as strong as anybody that I've seen lately.
Well, I wasn't saying Starks finishes them better than Lacy.
Oh, no, I'm
Starks is finishing them better recently.
Yeah, well, what I'm saying, Evan, is the debate that our Twitter follower had, that's what the argument was. And
okay.
Yeah, so I'm not disagreeing with you at all. I'm disagreeing with this point that was made on Twitter, is that Starks is a good, powerful back, but I think Lacy has all the tools. I mean,
he does.
You know, Lacy is only going to get better. I mean, the guy's only been here for a short period of time.
Yeah.
And he's impressed me. And I'll tell you what, Lacy is starting to pick up the blocking schemes also. I haven't seen Starks in that situation, and I think it's because of the confidence level that McCarthy now has with Lacy to be able to pick up that blitz if they need it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I wasn't disagreeing with on that.
Oh, okay.
But I think
thought maybe you misheard me.
No, that's what the Twitter talk was about. And I'll tell you what, though, I don't care which one of these we have. If Starks is healthy and he's back now, that's a great 1-2 punch in my mind.
It is.
Lacy, Starks, and I'll tell you what, once Franklin gets his confidence back and can hold on to the ball, now we have 3 viable running backs. How many teams can say that?
Not very many.
Now, look at the Giants, for example. What are they doing? They're going on free agent market.
Peyton Hillis.
Yeah, exactly. So I think
the worst Madden cover guy ever.
Yeah. So I think we're blessed. And again, let's look at how the Packers have done it. They've done it through building. Those are their guys. They're not going out. They're not panicking. They're not signing free agents off the road. They did last year, you know, when they had to. But even Alex Green it wasn't Alex Green. It was Harris.
Benson.
Yeah, Benson. But I think the Packers normally do a good job of building their own people. So,
yeah, I agree.
You know, right now, I mean, people can debate Starks over Lacy, Lacy over Starks. I mean, Lacy's playing well. You got to keep the ball in his hand. Don't you agree?
Yeah, I agree. You ride the hot hand, and if Lacy starts slowing down, then you can start subbing in Starks a little bit.
Yeah. So. No, and you know, you think about our one Super Bowl win when we got our first one. It was a combination. We had kind of that dual running back situation,
yeah.
And so I see.
And Starks got hot at the right time too.
Yeah, you know, and so, hey, I think we've got the pieces in place. We're rolling right over 14 minutes. So, any last words to our listeners?
Just thank you for listening, and thank you for the topic to talk about. Because I don't mind coming up with topics, but it's more fun when the fans are being interactive.
Exactly. And again, before I go, happy belated birthday, Evan. I appreciate you being on the Light Sports Ramble. I'm going to tie it up with the listeners. Have a great Saturday, everyone. We'll catch you soon.